Okay, welcome to the second installment of our demonstration of the FItech fuel injection conversion system for this Fiat Spider. As I showed you in the first video, we went from a cold start just with the engine idling in the shop bay, and showed you kind of how it went through warm-up and how it performed. So now we're going to go for a short drive. Even though the engine's still cold, it's only run for a minute or so. Starts immediately. As you can see from the temperature gauge, we're still well below operating temperature. The handheld controller is showing 116 degrees for coolant temperature. So that's well below operating range for the engine. But we're going to show you how it runs cold, and we'll go for a short drive as it warms up. So it's a little bit tricky to steer and shift and hold the camera with only two hands when it really takes three, but we'll do the best we can and at least show you how the car performs even from cold running with this fuel injection system. So acceleration is seamless even with a cold engine, no hesitation. Pretty typical with a carbureted car to have some stumbling and poor running when it's cold. Video, this is a self-learning system. So this car has run for a little bit, but we haven't driven it that much, so the system is still learning all the parameters that it's going to settle on for best performance. But I'm in fourth gear right now. You can see we're only going a little over 30 miles an hour, and yet acceleration is seamless. The car picks right up even without downshifting. Acceleration is great, even though we're still not anywhere near to engine operating condition. We're just barely over 100 degrees on the gauge. With these cams, we've got the target idle set at about 1100 RPM. So here we're down to 10 miles an hour in second gear, and once the light turns green, we've got seamless acceleration. Not going to really flog the engine with high RPM since it's still not warmed up. It's a really cool morning here, and we're well below operating temperature, so we're not going to really hammer the engine while it's this cold. But as you can see, just in normal driving, I'm driving a little faster than the speed limit, and the car just performs really well. We're in fifth gear here, 3000 RPM, and the car just picks right up. Great morning for top-down driving with a long-sleeve shirt on. It's just perfect weather. It'll take a little longer for the engine to get up to operating temperature with the cool outside temperature we have, but as you can see, one of the big features of going to fuel injection is how well the car runs when it's cold. Typically with a carbureted version, you're going to be warming the car up for a few minutes to try and get it to run well so you can take it out and drive it. With this, you can start it up and just drive immediately. So low speed, 180 degree turn, we're down to under 10 miles an hour, second gear acceleration. Car is just a joy to drive. It accelerates well, revs like crazy. Engine temperature is just starting to come up now on the gauge, so performance will be even better when this engine gets up to operating temperature. One of the features this system will do, it will control your cooling fan if you wanted to. We happen to have an electric water pump in this car with its separate controller, but the ECU that's in the throttle body does have a feature where you can control your cooling fan, and you set the operating temperature for where you want that fan to come on and off. So that's a really nice feature. You can do away with the fan switch that's in the bottom of your radiator and have the ECU control the whole engine operating parameters. It also will control your engine timing if you happen to have a programmable ignition in the car. So that's fourth gear acceleration. Car picks right up. And we're in fifth gear now. As you can see, this is just a great upgrade from your carbureted engine that you've got. Just eliminates so many drivability issues and increases power. Engine revs much more quickly. You can tailor the fuel mixture to exactly where you want it throughout the RPM range, whether you're cruising or wide open throttle. And the FItech system does come with a 1-year warranty on it. Comes with a complete instruction manual for installation. And it does have a feature, it does use an O2 sensor for feedback. So if you don't happen to have a header with an O2 bung in it, it comes with a kit to drill a hole in your exhaust pipe and mount the O2 sensor right in the exhaust pipe. So you don't need any fancy upgrades. If you don't want to go to a header or change the exhaust manifold to a fuel-injected version that featured an O2 sensor, you can just use the stock exhaust pipe and mount the O2 sensor there. So there you saw us from a dead stop. We were at a red light and the car accelerated away up through the gears, and it's just seamless acceleration. It's really a joy to drive this car. So these fuel injection systems will be available on our website and our store at allison'sautomotive.com. As I mentioned in our first video explaining the system, that the fuel pump kit is a separate kit, and you can either buy the various components a la carte, or you can buy the complete installation kit, which gives you all the fittings, the hose, the pump, the brackets, everything you'll need to upgrade the system to this fuel injected throttle body. So engine temperature now just starting to come up. We're up to 147 degrees even after that long of a drive. And you can see the idle is stabilized right about 1100 RPMs, which is where we set the target RPM. And that's where it needs to run with this particular engine setup with the performance cams we've got in it. But other than that, I'll show you the screenshot we've got on our dashboard from our tuner. We're idling between 11 and 1200. Coolant temp's 156, still below operating temperature. And our air-fuel ratio is running right about 13.5%, which is what we set it for this engine temperature. So that's an overview of the system. You saw how the car performs. If you have questions, you can feel free to call us at 909-981-3566 during normal business hours. I can answer any of your questions about installation or performance of this system on your car. Thanks for watching.